watching the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball live from Los Caballeros Sports Village in Fountain Valley, California. Men's semifinals with Bastidas and Nikolai Nahorniak, former national champions in small ball doubles, going up against Carlos Chavez, not Marcos, but Carlos, his younger brother, and Vincent Munoz, one of the greatest handball players of all time.
Well, Dave, Carlos and Vince nearly blew the top off this building last night, Dave, in what was the most raucous environment from what I heard in the history of this event. It was so loud that the referee on the next court had to scream the score down from the top just so the players could hear it. Carlos, Dave, just talked to him before this warm-up started. He said, trailing 10-9 in the tiebreaker, the Irish team served for the match. Killian Carroll hit a back wall kill. Carlos went to a dive. While on the ground, hit a backhanded flip that flat rolled to earn the side out. They get in at 9-10 and score 2 straight points to win 11-10. And, Dave, I think that was a huge upset. I mean, you're talking about Vince Munoz, who's in his mid-40s. Carlos Chavez, who's, he's had a nice career, but, is not regarded as one of the very top players. Beating Killian Carroll, who has wins over Luis Moreno, Emmett Peixoto, Dermot Nash. Every top player, literally, he's defeated. And for these guys from Southern California, Dave, who had to have been buoyed by the home crowd, to have, faced match point and defeated that team, very impressive.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. And I don't know what's more impressive, all that backhanded flips and a guy who is just a, kind of a bubbling under qualifier in Carlos Chavez, and an aging Vince Munoz, over 40 years of age, or seeing Luis Moreno referee this match after that grueling semifinal.
Was it grueling, though?
Well, this whole tournament has been, you would have to think, for any player that makes it this far. I mean, some lose in the opening round. But Luis Moreno's up there reffing, Dave. I mean, what other sport does the guy that needs to beat the number 1 player in the world, the number 1 player in the world right now is Luis Moreno. The world champion is Paul Brady. That was Luis said, I'm going to go out there and crush him tomorrow. He is up here reffing, the guy that's going to do all the crushing.
Well, some players play back-to-back matches and then just announce for the rest of the day. So, yeah. I mean,
I just can't believe what I'm seeing. And this is part of that tournament preparation. Now you see Luis Moreno, the referee, down on the court, flipping the coin. Usually it's loser ref, traditionally in handball. And this is, I guess, a winner ref situation.
This is the ref gets paid, so therefore you get a lot of eager volunteers.
And we don't hear the court sounds, but I know we will shortly through our headsets. We have Vince Munoz, who is, I believe, with Marco Chavez, the first 3 years won this. They three-peated. Vince Munoz did, playing alongside Marco Chavez. They finally did get a loss, and as it is in Southern California, you lose one time with your doubles partner, you never play again together.
Okay.
That's just sort of the mantra here in Southern California. Vince Munoz on the left-hand side up front near the dotted line on the left wall leaning back is a legend in this game. Some could make an argument that he was, from about 95, 2005, probably one of the second, third best players on the planet. If you base it on what he did on a 3-wall court and the 4-wall court, he did win a national championship or 2 in 4-wall, but he also won some doubles, a lot of them.
And 11 3-wall singles national titles.
And between those time frames, he was on fire on the 3-wall court, but he's won so many doubles national championships and singles that, he's up there with the all-time list when it comes to pro championships. Yeah. Last night's match, they lost the first one, Vince Munoz and Carlos Chavez. 4-21 was the score of that first game last night against Team Ireland. And then they won 21-17 and then 11-10 breaker that you discussed earlier.
Well, Dave, their opponents are former national doubles champions. Bastidas on the right, Dave, arguably the best all-around player in the game. He's the 1-wall national champion. He's the Australian 3-wall national champion. He's the former national 3-wall champion.
Check the ball.
He's also at one time been ranked in 4-wall. He also is a dominant big ball player. Not many people play that many codes of handball, Dave, let alone win in all those codes.
Yeah, that's true.
Point.
I was watching Tyree, Dave, this morning at 8 a.m. on the three-ball court.
Serving 0.
He just looked unstoppable. I mean, he's never even played three-wall big ball singles before, and I have him on my short list of favorites to win that. In fact, Dave, last year, as this match just starts to get underway, Tyree Bastidas played a 3.5-hour doubles match on this court, which he lost to Desi Keegan and Smokin' Joe McCann, 11-8 in the tiebreaker.
0.
Went straight to the three-wall court, built a huge lead off Ricardo Ruiz, who's ranked number 3, led 14-4 in the first game, and just completely cramped. His body shut down. He couldn't play anymore. But it was obvious to everyone watching, Dave, that he had the skills to have won that match.
0.
Right.
And, you know, I know that you say conditioning plays a factor. Of course it does. You know, you come out with a 3.5-hour doubles match. I don't know that there's anybody that could recover from that and go straight to the three-wall court.
Well, your body can just take so much. It doesn't matter what kind of shape you're in.
Yeah.
Dave, you're probably the best shape of anybody I've ever met in my
0.
life. But as you know, 3 or 4 rounds into a tournament, it just becomes hard.
I saw it good. One agree. Oh, I didn't see a slide.
What?
You saw a slide? I'm going to replay. One side, one didn't.
Well, the line judges overturned it.
3-0.
This is a quick start here for Southern California, and I don't agree with that call on the slide. That was a great hop, and you know, Dave, Carlos Chavez, who we haven't seen much, he's got these crafty little flip hops, I would call them, where he just kind of turns his wrist, and he gets some good action on the ball.
Side out.
Marco Chavez, who's
0
won this
serving
tournament a
3.
few times with Vince Munoz, told me that at the LAAC they developed this game that's called
Second serve.
it's called Have Fun, and that means that you get into the I formation.
So
the guy
you'd
up
be
front.
immediately excluded from that.
No, they wouldn't even allow me in the front door, just off the title
Second
alone.
serve.
Right.
He said the guy up front has fun. He just takes the ball that he wants to poach, and he better put it down. But it's like, even if you don't, we all slap each other's hands and have fun. He said some of the greatest handball you've ever seen. My brother, Vic Perez,
0 serving 3.
Vince Munoz, myself, we just have fun. Well, that have fun style is a developed I formation that you see here, where the Southern California guys now play doubles with the guy on the right will jump up to the
serving
front.
3.
Sometimes the guy on the left will come up, and he'll say as he steals, I'm having fun now. I'm going to have fun. I'm up front.
That's funny because I have fun after we play and I watch you throw your gym bag into the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
And then I say I have fun.
Well, it is pretty
2
fun to watch
serving
somebody's
3.
agony. But is it?
And Dave, Nikolai has challenged every single point
didn't
here
think
thus
it
far
hit
in
the
this
top
match,
part.
from
I thought it
slides
hit
to
the
bad
jack.
bounces.
Was it a... We're going to play that over.
It's Dave, a doubles match takes about 3 hours on
I saw
average
it hit
anyway.
the
But when you
glass.
add in this, we could be looking
Yeah.
at 4 to 5 hours here.
Okay.
This could be a
Let's play it
final
over.
round on the PGA Tour.
We're gonna
5
play it
hours
over.
plus.
2
Well.
serving 3.
I know you don't care because the broadcast schedule is just kind of a casual thing to you.
Might want to just order some pizza then.
Can we? No, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Dave, how hard
Cheese,
is it?
all cheese
Yeah,
for you.
please.
3 serving 3.
Extra sauce. How hard is it, Dave, when you're
Short.
playing against a team that's playing this
Field,
I
that was
formation? You've
short.
never seen that before.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Because you try to
Second
tell
serve.
yourself, how do I get this ball past this guy in the front court, because he's taking everything. It takes you out of your game.
I like this uniform look, David. It really helps us, and I think everyone watching, to know who's on whose team.
No, I do too. I like it. I was playing the have fun style that
Four
Marco said
serving
up in
3.
Idaho with Marco Chavez.
Yeah.
And we lost in the finals, but I have not, obviously,
Short.
I'm not the player that Vic Perez and Martin Mulkerns and
Second
those guys
serve.
are, nor am I the partner that Marcos wants up front having fun on any standpoint, but I was able to play this have fun style. And
Three
I can tell you,
serving
Dave, it
four.
really was nerve-wracking because I wasn't having any fun because I didn't know what I could do and what I shouldn't do. But you see that Carlos and Vince are playing so tight up front. Looks like they're having fun.
Well, they're up against two of the hardest hitters that I've ever seen, Nikolai and Tyree. These guys, Dave, go for broke on every shot. I mean, they're literally swinging as hard as they can.
I mean, who thought they'd ever see Vince Munoz hit a fish shot to the ceiling?
Well, he did it a lot in Toledo. Hit him into the parking lot. He hit him so well.
4 serving 4. Short. Second serve.
We're all together at 4. Vince Munoz serving. Nikolai Nahorniak in the red, as well as Tyree Bastidas. Men's semifinals of the doubles here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.
Side out.
And Munoz unable to handle that hard shot from Nahorniak.
4 serving 4. Second server.
Nikolai, Dave, just missing that shot, but he won the 3-wall ball
4
pro singles
serving
and
4.
doubles just about a month and a half ago, but he hurt his knee in that event.
Short.
He hasn't been able to play any handball since. In fact,
Second
stopped
serve.
through Tucson, just like seems like everyone that we've watched has done. Wasn't even able to play handball, though, because of his knee.
Point.
Nice shot right there from Nahorniak, left hand. We saw that in Vegas.
5 serving 4.
And you see Nikolai and Tyree just pounding balls at Carlos.
6 serving 4.
And he's unable to get those balls back.
Hold it.
You're going to see a lot more stop and play here in doubles.
6 serving 4.
Players that will hit a ball at another player just to get a reaction, but it goes at their own doubles partner, and it's called a screen or
7 serves 4.
a hinder, and so there's a lot of replays, a lot of dives on the floor to keep it going because you're covering so much of the court, which means a lot of towel timeouts. So traditionally
8
doubles
serving 4.
kind of breaks that. Instead of an hour and a half, it's 2 hours long in some cases. So you might want to order a pizza, make plans, but certainly keep it here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.
9
You've got
serving 4.
former national champions Nikolai Nahorniak and Tyree Bastidas
Short.
in the red shirts.
Second serve.
Carlos Chavez and Vincent Munoz in the blue. Vince playing the left side, Carlos on the right.
Serving 4.
Nikolai Nahorniak, Vince Munoz. Kind of battling it out there. Nikolai gets the best of Munoz. Score is 11-4. This one's going by rather quickly
Check the ball.
compared to most doubles matches. Not sure why Vince Munoz and Marco Chavez didn't play doubles. Marcos opted to play with Vic Perez. And they lost.
Side out.
And that was a great left-handed flat rollout from Vince Munoz, and a side out. If we had a replay, we'd catch it.
Well, Dave, I thought you said that once you lose together as a team, you never play together again.
True. But to rub it in, does Vince Munoz go to Marcos' younger brother? It's like, well, you know, I'm going to go with a younger version of you. You have to recall that last year Marcos opted not to play with Vince. He went with Mondo Ortiz in the doubles last year, and they were the favorites coming in, and they lost in the semis.
They lost to Dave Chapman and Emmett Pichot last year in a tiebreaker.
4 serves 11. Point.
Nice serve there from Carlos
5
Chavez.
serves 11.
Carlos now holding on to Team Munoz here.
6 serves 11.
It's all Carlos at this moment as they are making a comeback.
Played over.
Bastidas tries to jump over that ball, doesn't do it. Nikolai Nahorniak said, you know, I should be playing the singles and the pros here, but Tyree and I play good doubles together, and he asked me if I wanted to play, and it's hard to turn him down. Kind of a lazy poach there from Chavez.
6 serves 11.
I thought this was a family event until I looked over at the masseuse table. I don't think I'd bring my kids here to see that.
6 serving 11.
Tyree Bastidas with the ball.
11 serving 6.
Doesn't get credit for it, but probably is the hardest hitter in the game.
Well, it sounds like he just did get credit for it.
Sorry, I know you talk, but I can't hear you through my headset. But I saw your lips move. I gave him credit, but I don't think people throw him out there as they should. Dave, do you agree or disagree?
I agree. But Tyree has not played a lot of four-wall in the last couple of years. He's primarily played outdoors, one-wall
serving 6.
and three-wall, mostly one-wall. He is the #1 one-wall player in the world with the small ball.
They play one wall with the small ball?
He actually broke his hand playing with the front ball, which is,
I thought he got it.
like, it's a baseball basically, and you're hitting it with your hands as hard as you can. So I don't see how anything could go wrong doing that.
It's like kicking a bowling ball.
Yeah, that's true.
With a bare foot.
Yeah.
I think guys like Vince Munoz have seen power their whole lives, but Tyree brings a whole different element here. In fact, all of the guys on the court hit the ball hard, but Tyree. Both hands with Tyree, too. Vince Munoz, another skip in, and now another point.
13 serving 6.
Going on the board here for Nikolai Nahorniak, Tyree Bastidas. Our referee is our finalist here in the men's pro division, Luis Moreno. Just got off the court, and that left-handed flat kill in the left corner from Vince Munoz.
That was a great shot.
6 serving 13.
Why isn't Vince Munoz still playing on the pro tour? when you've got guys like Nadi Alvarado still
Second
ranked
serve.
number 2, 3, or 4, Vince could certainly still be in the top 8, wouldn't he? I mean, we haven't seen him play singles, so how I guess nobody would ever know the answer. But you see that left-handed. It used to be the left was his weakest part of his game. He's hit 3 in a row with his left hand.
At the very least, I'd love to see him play on the senior race for the 40-plus division.
Well, I heard that he was going to enter it, and there's another skip in with his
Second
right. Nope,
server.
it was a flat roll. Somewhere Jeff Helam is
6 serving 13.
shaking his head.
I'm going to petition our broadcast team to watch the rest of this game from the front wall cam.
Not going to happen.
Well, I can ask. I mean, you told me that you can only hear no if you ask.
If you have to ask, then the answer is probably no.
That's why it's a catch-22.
No. That ball's broken, right? I mean, it broke about 3 shots ago. Moreno knew it. He already had the can waiting while the amateurs were out there still hitting the ball. By amateurs, I mean Nikolai Nahorniak, of course.
Tyree broke it. Have him sign it.
You heard Moreno say that it was Tyree that broke it. And to have him sign it.
6 serving 13.
Look at that. So
Line
much
out.
raw talent from Tyree Bastidas.
Thirteen serving 6.
Here's Tyree serving at 13-6.
Point. Fourteen serving 6. Serving 6.
We're at 15-6, men's semifinals, bottom bracket. U.S. Open of Handball. Dave, in the upper bracket, Marco Chavez and Vic Perez will be playing against Owen Kennedy and Desi Keegan.
15
So Marcos
serving
and
6.
Vic are still in this event.
Yeah, I didn't feel like correcting you there earlier, Dave.
Yeah, I just didn't see that. I thought
I limit my corrections to 20 a day.
Wow.
I only got 3 left,
Well,
so I didn't want to use it up
it's good that
there.
to see that we made it to 1 o'clock. It's 1:30 now.
6 serving 15.
Obviously that 20th error must have happened before 1 since I asked that question.
Well, you're actually only at 17.
Oh,
so
really?
You have 3 left, and
Oh, you just opt sometimes not to correct,
Yeah,
just so
right,
you can
that's
save
what I
them
mean.
up because
Yeah.
you want to use them later.
well, I know there's going to be more important
7
ones to
serving
correct.
15.
So I didn't want to waste it there. I knew that would come out eventually.
Wow, that's impressive.
Great shot from Vince, but
Look at that dig.
He hit you.
you know, Dave, I think
Second,
the
check
biggest
the ball.
difference between the younger players and as guys start to get into their late 30s and early 40s is the gettability, the ability to keep rallies alive.
7
Once you
serving
lose the ability to
15.
extend rallies, no matter how well you hit the ball, you're not going to be able to compete at the pro level. You have to be able to fly around the court and literally pick up everything that's not a flat roll, because that's what everyone else is doing. You know, we say everyone's a great get artist, but all the best get artists are current pros, and they're there for a reason.
What was that?
I think the get artistry
Okay.
is even more
Score is
important
8,
than the
serving
shot
15.
making at times, you know?
Able to get the ball, you're also extending rallies, which then tires out your opponent. It's all part of a strategy.
And it puts pressure on them to hit better shots, and that forces errors, and it changes everything.
Being able to get a ball, you know, makes the fans, they absolutely love that. Let's look at this front camera angle. Look at that
That was a good
dive right
replay.
there. But, you know, some of these fans, they obviously love that stuff. But the get artist, they put themselves in a position to get balls that other people can't get. And that's what extends rallies. And we've seen a lot of those plays go to the guy that's getting the ball. See Tyree Bastidas playing really close to the front wall. A flat rollout, he's able to punch back into play, and he ends up winning the rally.
Score is 8, serving 15. Point.
Vincent
9, serves 15.
Chavez.
Dave, I truly believe that Tyree could be one of the top four-wall players in the game if he committed himself to it.
Yeah, but we've been saying that for 5-6 years now.
Well, it's
he
definitely
doesn't want to, so
yeah,
I don't know why we even bring it up.
Okay, fair enough. I just said if, hypothetically.
Yeah, but we've been saying if for 5 years. When are you going to say if we stop saying this, maybe he will?
15, serving 9. Point. $16, serving 9.
Dave, this is as a packed gallery here. And that's because of the local hometown favorites of Vince Munoz and Carlos Chavez.
$16, serving 9.
Big, huge setup here for Vince Munoz. Goes down low, doesn't put it away. But his doubles partner does.
Dave, do you find that there's some days you have the same setups as the day before, but for some reason you can never put one of them down, 16. And then the next day it's like, wait a minute, I'm just hitting the ball 2 inches high now. It's virtually every time I'm trying.
One of the reasons, not all of the reasons, but when you're relaxed,
ball slide.
You let the ball drop a little bit more, and we can, just a half an inch means everything sometimes.
Yeah.
We're still talking about handball.
9, serving 16.
You go in there, some days you're just too tense, or maybe your muscles hurt from a previous workout, or you didn't stretch correctly, or didn't eat right, or whatever the case is. But then the next day you just don't care, and you just let the ball relax, and you just let it drop, and now you're smacking the ball. It can happen when you get older from round to round. You play one round great, the next round it's horrible. But yeah, it does happen.
$10, serving 16. Point.
Now it's 11-16. Closing the gap is Team Southern California.
11, serving 16.
It doesn't feel this close, Dave, but Team SoCal is just now 4 points behind.
It was his shot. He was taking his shot. You moved back and went around.
I agree with Luis there,
point.
Dave. That was a great call. Luis says basically
Time
what
out,
we've been
you got a
talking about throughout this event. You parked yourself behind him while he was shooting, and then you asked for hinder. Watch this here, Dave.
Yeah, good call from the ref. Don't ever see the refs call that. Nice to see it come from our current #1 ranked handball player reffing this, Luis Moreno. There he is. Packed gallery here at Los Caballeros. In fact, these are the biggest crowds I've ever seen here, Dave.
How many evers have there been so far today? Can we talk about that during this break? We've already announced 15 different players as being the best of all time. 10 players as being the hardest hitters of all time ever. Biggest crowds ever.
Uh-huh. This is the biggest crowd I've ever seen here.
I know I'm missing some evers, though.
Well, he has the biggest hop serve.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He had the most wins of all time, but that is true because mathematics shows that on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Marco Chavez said that they had the most fun ever playing doubles in the I formation. I can't debate that.
No.
Looks like it's fun. I tried it. I hated it, but but that's not what we're discussing here. There's a lot of evers.
Did you ever try to have fun and it just backfired on you, or have you just never tried?
Every time I had fun, it was at somebody else's expense. So, yes.
Okay.
Point.
I'm not judging.
No, you just want to know.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I wish I knew.
13 serving 16.
One more point on the scoreboard. They're now 13-16 as Team Southern California serving here and on a nice run, too. Oh, and look at that crack.
And that's just the rub of the green right there, Dave. I mean, not the greatest shot,
14
but it
serving 16.
dies right in front of Tyree.
14-16 after we saw a 9-15 score line. Look how close Carlos Chavez is playing up front. I formation handball, its finest right there, and a flat roll from Vince Munoz. Dave, that's deadly. When you were young coming up, did you get a chance to play Vince
15,
Munoz?
Only one time.
What happened with the
unfortunately.
scores?
You know, it was the strangest thing because
You said he didn't play good. I remember hearing that. There's a skip
Right.
in from Carlos, but did he win?
Oh, yeah, he won, but I felt like I didn't play well. I felt like he didn't play well, and I didn't
15,
get a good
serve
sense
16.
of his real
Yeah.
game. I was disappointed.
But watching him on video, and these flat rollouts at the age of 40 or 42 or however old he is,
I'd say
I don't
he's
think anybody
45.
knows how old he is, right?
I think he's older than Naughty.
Okay.
16.
He doesn't look
serving 16.
older than Naughty. He looks like a skinnier version of
Side out.
Armando Ortiz. Got the same haircut.
16 serving 16.
He is Mondo's mentor.
We're all together at 16. There was a huge deficit here. It looked like Team Bastidas was
17
about ready to
serving
roll
16.
through. Now it's 17-16 with Tyree serving. Nice dig there from Munoz.
Every time I see Tyree swing, Dave, I think he's like one of those long drive champions that just goes out there and, hits every shot 400 yards.
Well, I was thinking he's like Bubba Watson. He's got
Yeah.
all of the ability to do whatever he wants, but sometimes relies on that power too much. I mean, he just hit a ball out of the court and
Check
then
the
threw his
ball.
hands up. You should never hit a ball out of a court. I mean, that is just as bad as hitting the ball on the ground.
17 serving 16.
He hit a sidewall and it still went out of the court.
Yeah.
I've never seen that done in my life.
Wow.
He hit the
There's
sidewall and then went out.
Another
Dave, you know what
ever.
it takes to do that? He's the only one that could ever do it. I would say now,
Second
because it's the
serve.
first I've ever seen, he's the greatest ever at
Yeah.
hitting that ball out.
I've played Tyree more times than most people, and every time I've played him, he's come up with shots that I've never seen before, and he's going for them.
18
So he's
serve 16.
The greatest ever at being
Greatest
creative.
creator ever.
Wow. Even more than Jesus.
Oh, that was just one of the worst airs ever.
18
Keeping
serving
that
16.
theme.
It wasn't the greatest error ever.
Yeah.
18-16, Nikolai Nahorniak serving.
That's
Ball
another
broke.
broken ball.
Luis Moreno already had it out of his pocket.
Dave, it is so humid and so hot in these courts that it works both ways, because on one hand it's very easy to get warmed up, but on another hand, you're losing so many of your electrolytes, and I believe that causes more fatigue. I mean, I got done playing, Dave, and people asked me if I just jumped in the pool.
Yeah.
I mean, I said no, but that's what it looks like when you get done playing here. Even one game, you're just completely drenched in sweat.
Yeah, nope. I hear the players talking about it. I don't remember it from past years, but I've never been on the show court from past years. So.
Well, it's actually any court here, because
Okay.
I wasn't on them either, but
And
I
there's
was
something
bringing
about it
my-
when you know you're going to play outside, you are mentally prepared. You think you're going to be in an air-conditioned club you don't really think of it much, but then all of a sudden you come into a place like this and it's really hot. It takes so much out of you.
Well,
it
it's
really
strange
does.
because
Course,
it's much more pleasant outside.
16.
Actually, it's very stuffy inside. The air doesn't move around in the club.
Point.
Whereas out here, we've got a nice breeze. It's about 70 degrees with no humidity. This is actually the perfect temperature to play.
19 serving 16.
And when we turn the cameras on out here, you'll see that for yourself.
Weird bounce
Played
back
over,
there. No
check the
call.
ball.
Oh, it is a play over. 19-16 now after Munoz and Chavez fought back after
19 serving 16.
7-point deficit to tie the game. It's a 3-point run now for Team Bastidas.
Right out.
And Team Southern California could very easily run this game out here, Dave. In doubles, you have 2 serves.
Yeah, you know, it's also a funny thing, too, in doubles. When you're down 16-19 and you're coming in, you really do think to yourself,
Yeah.
5 points? Yeah, we can do that. I only need 3. Sometimes your opponent will say that. Your partner will say that. I
Yeah.
need 3, you get 2. You know, pace it out. I think to myself, I might get 1, they're going to get 4, you know. Might not be the right mentality, but you see these guys, they certainly think they can attain 5 points in one inning. But what usually happens is
19.
20 or 30 side outs.
Short.
You know, it gets tighter at the end. A lot more better gets and some close play.
Second serve.
A big miss hit there from Tyree.
Tyree is a one-wall player, could easily just play one-wall right now, but instead he's flipping the ball back. Why doesn't he go for one of those elite rollouts up there? Oh, I like that. Forcing some action is Carlos. Vince back to the roof. Not known to be a methodical guy, but as he gets older, that's what he's known for right there. Vince Munoz gets it and the crowd loves it. It's really unbelievable, Dave.
Well, I'm thinking more about the shot than his age, and he takes that from 38 feet
17
and just
serving 19.
feathers a changeup in there right in front of Tyree, and there's nothing Tyree could do about it. Vince went for a running off-speed right-handed kill there and missed it.
17 serving 19.
Score is 17-19 now. I thought that was a crack out. Tyree was able to dig it out. Look at that. Nice dig from Tyree. Vince Munoz hit almost a perfect shot up there, and Tyree was able to dig it out. And then Vince had another chance,
18 serving
and he
19.
left it a little high, and Nikolai was unable to get it. Now
Short.
18-19. Another
Hit
barn
you.
burner. We've seen some legendary
two
matches out
serves.
here at Lowe's Cab at the U.S. Open.
18
in
19.
doubles.
Short. Peel that. That was short. Second serve. Second serve.
Oh, amazing shot, Dave. Vince Munoz with 9 kill shots here in this first game. You know how hard that is to do in doubles, Dave?
Very hard.
19 serving 19. Point.
And Dave, it's now game point. Tyree shaking his head. I'm not sure what he's upset about, but Vince Munoz and Carlos Chavez, who started so slowly, they look sluggish and lethargic, like they didn't even really belong on the court with these two youngsters. But all of a sudden now at game point, trailed 19-16.
Well, that's what we said. You step in there in doubles and you say to yourself, we can get 5 points. And they've got 4 of them. They need one more to take game number 1. And you know, the odds makers after Nick and Tyree got up to 16 made it, you know, virtually impossible for Munoz and Chavez to come back.
They have one server here, Dave. This is their second guy.
After being down 16-9.
All right, 20
Wow.
possible game points, serving
Wow.
19.
On a 11-3 run at the moment, looking to take game number 1.
Oh my God.
Tyree takes that shot and leaves that shot. Again,
Side out.
Vince
Just
went
a-
for an overhand right corner tomahawk to win, and this crowd would have gone
19
nuts.
serving 20.
It's just a strange rally all around. It seemed like-
Tyree just left him in the ball game there.
yeah.
Short. Second serve.
Tyree had Nikolai Nahorniak, who's got a great back wall game, sitting back there to take that setup, and Tyree poached it 2 times in a row.
It seems like, Dave, and we don't have the stats, but
Oh,
it seems like
Head
Tyree's
over.
hitting about 75% of the shots here, maybe more.
Tyree's not happy with this call from the ref, but Vince Munoz
19 serving
shuffled
20.
over. Was that Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
Hold it. $19 serving 20.
Wow, Tyree smokes that ball.
He goes with the party ball there, Dave, for Waller.
All together at 20. Still on the first server. The odds of Team Munoz and Chavez have just
20
decreased to
possible
about
game points,
2%
serves 20.
chance of winning.
Officially, it's at 12%.
Well, and they take it. Game number 1 going to Nikolai Nahorniak and Tyree Bastidas. We'll have game number 2 coming up in 5 minutes. We're going to take a quick break. Stick around. More action here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app from the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball. And WPH Race for 8 stop number 1. Tyree and his partner Nikolai Nahorniak on that play right there gets the 21st point. We'll have a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes for Dave Fink, Dave Vincent here at WatchESPN.com.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green all-purpose cleaner. Spray straight from the bottle on heavy grime or dilute the concentrated formula to make up to 11 bottles of daily cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out, from kitchens and bathrooms to living and play areas, countertops and floors to furniture and clothing. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.
Get ready for your next barbecue with the Southland's most delicious smoked sausages. I'm Rachel Serrato from Far West Meats. My family has provided quality, delicious meats locally for over 90 years. At Far West Meats, we take pride in serving a mouth-watering variety of smoked sausages, including beef, chicken, and Louisiana hot or mild, and our new products like Red Hots and Chicken Chorizo. Please find Far West Meats products at your local supermarkets, including Albertsons, Smart & Final, Stater Brothers, Superior, Gardinas, Walmart, Food for Less, and Winco.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green All-Purpose Cleaner. Use straight from the bottle on heavy grime or dilute the concentrated formula to make up to 44 bottles of daily cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. From kitchens and bathrooms to living and play areas, countertops and floors to furniture and clothing. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
Ahern Rentals is the largest independently owned and operated rental business in the United States. We are proud to maintain outstanding working relationships with over 100 manufacturers, including JLG, Skyjack, Genie, Kubota, Multiquip, Honda, and many more. From coast to coast, Ahern Rentals is here to service your equipment rental needs. For a complete list of locations near you, please visit us at www.ahern.com or call 1-800-400-1610.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green All-Purpose Cleaner. Spray straight from the bottle on heavy grime or dilute the concentrated formula to make up to 11 bottles of daily cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. From kitchens and bathrooms to living and play areas, countertops and floors to furniture and clothing. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.
Back in Fountain Valley, California for game number 2. Vince Munoz, Carlos Chavez up against Nikolai Nahorniak and Tyree Bastidas. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Dave Fink. You're watching the continued coverage from the World Players of Handball, streaming live at ESPN, the Watch ESPN app from Fountain Valley, California. It's a Simple Green U.S. Open of handball. Become quite the family tradition here in Southern California. Dave, you bring your family out here.
We love it here. Always try and head to Newport on the first day. We're going to actually hit the San Diego Zoo on Monday morning.
Well, now that's the smart thing right there. Newport's great. I know you have your amazing wife, Trisha Fink.
Yep.
Beautiful son, Henry. You guys have been on the beach. How does Henry, your son, like the beach? I mean, I would think that that would be an adventure land for a little kid, wouldn't it?
He just loves it. In
Yeah.
fact, I have about 150 pictures I'd love to show you.
I'm unlike all those other people that don't like to look at family photos. I actually look at every
Really?
single one of them.
Wow.
Here's a replay here. That's the replay there. Some good plays that we saw from game number 1. 21-20 was a score there, Dave. Supposed to be a 5-minute break in between games, but this is a 11-minute break, they're saying. Simple Green U.S. Open, Dave. It's really become this event that players from both sides of the coast and around the country have come. I tried to do a quick tally on it. It was 5 countries, 37 states or counties, because in Ireland they don't really have states. It's kind of more of county driven. A bunch of players coming over here from Ireland. Canada, sprinkled around, Mexico, United States.
But you know, Dave, I agree with what you said yesterday. I don't know why there aren't thousands of players.
It really
here.
doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, if you're looking for a great week of handball, I mean, this is where you have to come. And you know, the Nationals are also here, Dave, in June, and that's also a great event.
I want to say hello to the Tucson Racket and Fitness Club watching in the clubhouse right now. Even though that we're streaming live right now in the clubhouse, the guys at the club there think that this is not live. So I don't know if an announcer could actually predict saying that, knowing that that is a scenario that would be taking place in real time. But this is really going on. That ball went between the legs of Carlos Chavez in real time, Tucson.
Side out.
At 1:55 p.m. on a Saturday in the great Pacific Southwest.
0 serving 0.
So they think this happened last year? Or
I don't know. I'd like to figure that part out.
Okay.
That would be more interesting.
I'm more interested in that.
First game going to Vince Munoz, Nikolai Nahorniak and Tyree Bastidas, but it was Vince Munoz and Carlos Chavez who told everybody we can hang here with these national champions.
You know, Dave, when you're a player like Nikolai Nahorniak and you're a shooter with both hands, sometimes it really works to your detriment, because if your shots aren't flat rolls, they're setups against, you know, top pros. You know, you take a guy who uses the walls, and he's going to be a lot steadier day to day than a guy who's a shooter. You know, a shooter is going to have those days where he's untouchable, and other times his kills are up or he's hitting the floor.
3 serving 0.
I'm not sure you're following me, but it's something I struggle with quite a bit, because I kind of only have one gear, and if my kills aren't down, I'm not winning.
Well, doubles is a whole different beast.
Three serving 0.
Oh, and Tyree, that's like getting hit with a BB gun, Dave, right in the back. Vince Munoz teed off on what would have been about a 1-foot high pass, which is the hardest shot you can hit.
0.
Oh, Tyree behind the back.
And you saw Carlos Chavez trying to will that ball to the front wall.
Dave, I know you love the recaps, but in that last rally, we had a between the legs, a behind the back, a dive, and then a pass shot, at rally-ending shot.
It's like Harlem Globetrotters in here.
And we're like the Washington Generals.
Worse.
No, you can't be any worse. They haven't won a
you
game
and I?
since. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never heard the Generals announce while the Globetrotters were playing, but.
Wow.
1 serving 3.
I would say any announcer on WWF back in the old days.
So you don't like Jim Ross then?
Nope.
The King, Jerry Lawler, not so much. Bobby the Brain Heenan? No.
You and Bobby are the same person, by the way. Your idol. There's a point being called there.
Thank you. 4 serving 1.
Team SoCal, Dave, has outscored their younger foes 24-22. Yet, they've got a tall mountain to climb as they're down 1-0.
Oh, did you see that? Vince Munoz did a pre-dive. I thought it skipped, but the ball came back fast. Let's take a look at this on replay, Dave. This is unbelievable.
That was amazing. Really was.
This guy's 45 years old. Here it is, a pre-dive. And it just squelches up front, makes it. Vince Munoz gets the point there. Pretty impressive, Dave.
I agree with you.
I was talking
Very
about Vince
impressive.
Munoz.
Oh.
Yeah. Sights and sounds of beautiful Southern California at its finest. Wow. The scenery here is amazing. Palm trees. Great floral
5
arrangements.
serving 1.
Long legs. I mean,
Short. Second serve. Hold it. Play it over.
Dave, Nikolai is hitting some very good shots, but just not quite good enough to end rallies.
5-1. Short. Second serve.
I would think, Dave, that Carlos and Vince have played 100 times more doubles together than Team Nahorniak and Bastidas. Even though these guys have won a national championship, they only play together at the tournaments. They've only played 3 tournaments together. Vince and Carlos are playing fun game and probably 3 times a week together as a team for 10 years, 20 years maybe.
That's a screen.
yeah, you're right.
Carlos Chavez and I played in the finals of the 11 and under nationals
6 serving
26 years ago.
But even if they don't play in practice, they're playing against each
Right.
other, and they know their tendencies just off of that alone, just a familiarity. So, yeah, no, you're right. Tyree swings and misses, and he's going to get that ball back. No, it hits him near the face, and a round of applause from the crowd there. And that's the ball there that hits Tyree right in the chest. Vince Munoz just pounds it right at him. You'd say, well, isn't that kind of a rude play to do in the game of handball? But when you're out there competing, you say, yeah, I'm going to hit that guy. I know it's not going to hurt. You don't try to maliciously hurt a guy, but faced with the same scenario, 100% of everybody would do the same thing. Nikolai Nahorniak standing at the short line, long swing, hits that ball on the ground, and now has a contact issue here. And the referee calls the score. Nikolai doesn't have his eye guards on.
8 serving 1. Short. That was short. Second serve.
And Dave, Team SoCal is running away with this game.
Timeout.
Can we start the tiebreaker now?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to probably head that way. Dave, you were getting updated scores from some matches that were going on outdoor. By the way, it is so packed inside right now with the galleries, and it's hard to believe it's packed outside too. This is the biggest I have ever seen. Ever in the history of any tournament that I've been to.
I got the ever part.
Okay. Inside packed. Last year, you can recall when everything went outside, all of these crowds went outside with it. Here, they're watching some of these amazing matches, and then outside there is a lot of people here too. But you are getting results from some of the outside matches, and there's one particular one that really sticks out, and that is the three-wall expert Tanisha Grooms and her doubles partner Yo-Yo, who plays one-wall big ball from New York, just defeated Tracy Davis and Danielle Daskalakis.
Danielle Daskalakis, Dave, is the women's pro singles and doubles and world one-wall big ball champion, playing with Tracy Davis, who finished second in the world championships. They go out in 2 games. I guess Tanisha just has Tracy's number, Dave. That's the 3rd time they've met. Tracy has yet to beat her.
I'm amazed by those results.
Well, you were on record earlier saying that, you didn't think Tanisha's game would translate necessarily, but, I watched her hit about 4 or 5 balls yesterday, and she looked like she was born on a one-wall court to me.
9 serving 1.
Tanisha's only playing one way. Tracy's already played multiple rounds indoors, so is Danielle Daskalakis. So you're going in there 36-year-old legs and multiple rounds of handball.
I know you'd find a way to hedge the stats.
Well, that's what I do.
Yep.
I'm only here for Chris Maldonado's entertainment and everybody else's disapproval. And everybody else, I mean everybody else.
Yeah. Odd, though, that your only fan won't even acknowledge you when you see him in person.
That's true. We're on a hate-hate relationship. He either hates me or he hates me. Vince has made that shot multiple times in this match. Skips it in this time, though.
1 serving 10.
Nahorniak Bastidas only 1 point here. And 19, Dave, 19-5 run between the end of the first game to this point for Team Munoz Chavez, and they still find themselves, having to force a tiebreaker and try to get the last 11 points here.
Right, unfortunately for them, they got off to a very slow start in game 1. And really, they've completely outplayed these youngsters since then.
Wow. You'd have to say the MVP of the first game was Vince Munoz, even though he was on the team that lost. I mean, he's the one that brought him back in. Carlos Chavez unable to catch up to that one. Carlos almost 40 now in age. And isn't it strange how doubles has these teams that can be near 40 years of age?
2-10. 2 plays 10.
And that match that we were talking about when Tracy Davis and Danielle played against Tanisha Grooms and Yo-Yo Yolanda was a 3rd place match in women's big ball one wall.
And both those teams got obliterated in the semifinals to play in that 3rd place final.
2 serving 10. Short. Second serve.
And Dave, you watch a guy like Paul Brady, and he's so disciplined in how he plays the game. He knows exactly what shot he's going to hit from everywhere on the court. Would you say Tyree is about the exact opposite? I mean, he just literally lets it flow. I don't think he has any idea where he's going to hit the ball until he actually makes contact with it.
Yeah, no, I would say that that's probably accurate.
I'm not saying it's such a bad thing.
No, I wish I had it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with Tyree. If he devoted himself, I think everybody here realizes that he would be that guy.
But we've already been down that road.
But we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it, though.
I mean, I was there for a while.
Yeah, well, I'm off of it now. I went on to it shortly. Now I'm off.
Okay.
Hold it. Four serving 10.
We apologize for those microphone difficulties. We're working on them. Tyree on the floor there 4 times in one rally, and he's starting to slip. Dave, I don't know if you've ever seen Tyree play, but he has a problem slipping.
Yeah.
It's something that's
I
plagued
have seen him play.
Okay, so then you'll know that it's something that happens to him.
4 place 10.
Great serve from Nikolai. And Dave, Nikolai is very much a system player, complete opposite of his partner. He grew up learning the game from Coach Don Quinlan in Chicago, then moved on to Lake Forest.
5 serving 10. Short.
And he very much is a student of the game.
Second serve.
And has a very systematic approach.
Very fun
good
guy,
player.
too. Yeah, I think he thinks about things, you know. Some players think too much. Some, just like Tyree just play. They cannot be any polar opposite.
I agree.
I think Nick sometimes might think a little bit more than the average player. I don't know if Tyree's even thinking. I think he thinks hit it as hard as he can.
When they play each other, it's an 11-10 tiebreaker.
Right. Contrasting styles. Power versus
10 place 5.
But just
methodical.
Watching matches with Nikolai and listening to him analyze what he's seeing, it's clear that he puts a lot of thought into it.
Second serve.
More than you thought. It's also clear that he might want to go back and take a couple more years of college. I joke, of course. Nick, one of my best friends, and I only have about
10 plays 5.
10-5. I'd be calling a timeout about now.
Feel the serve, I saw good. Both disagree, second serve.
Oh, that's rough.
Ten 5, second serve. Side out. Five serves 10. Six serving 10.
6 serves 10.
Comeback
5-0
here, Dave.
run here for team former national champs.
Yeah, I call him Team Youngster.
6 serving 10. Point.
I'm surprised that Munoz and Chavez,
7 plays 10.
with 6 straight points here, have not called a timeout. They were up 10-1.
Team Munoz and Chavez, Dave, are 34 years older combined than their opponents.
Wow.
7-10, 2 serves. Short.
It's just an obvious
Second serve.
momentum changer here. And I was also thinking, you know, that even though this match is going long, you're not seeing any timeouts being called by either of the teams. They're just staying on the floor and playing. The only timeout we saw were just Tyree arguing calls a few plays back. There has to be a timeout here, though, right?
That's where Tyree's unorthodox style just completely catches you off guard. That was a huge back wall setup. He leans back and drills a corner kill with his left hand.
Tyree can generate so much power without moving his feet. More than anybody I've ever seen. And there's finally a kill shot from SoCal. And it's only a half out. 7 straight points now.
8 plays 10.
And Dave, do you think that
Short.
there's bigger runs in singles or doubles? I mean, we saw
Second serve.
Team Southern California go on, I believe it was something like a 20-4 run.
No, I think it's definitely bigger in doubles, but the problem with doubles is there's a lot more stop of play. This isn't a true indicative of how that's done here, but there's more stoppage of play in doubles. It doesn't feel like the runs are continuous.
10 plays 8.
You're watching the men's semifinals of the pro doubles here. Vince Munoz and Carlos Chavez. Not Marcos, but Carlos. Marcos is still in this tournament with his partner, Vic Perez. And we very well could see a AAC final. And actually, that would be just really
first ever brother versus brother final.
But the LAAC, I mean, having 4 guys from the same club in the finals of a huge championship like this, it could happen. It's going to take a mountain to climb for Munoz and Chavez, who's sort of hit a brick wall here.
8.
Scoring only 2 points in the last 20 minutes. And they've all happened within the last 30 seconds. To include the 13th point here.
13 serving 8. $13-8. 13-8.
Score is 13-8, obviously. Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball, Mountain Valley, California, here in the OC. Just about, I don't know, 10 minutes or so from Dog Beach, Huntington Harbor, Newport Beach, Sunset Beach. All of those famous places that the Beach Boys would always sing about.
13
Surf City.
serves 8.
Just a stone's throw away from here. This is one of those rare tournaments where there is no formal.
Call that avoidable.
Ooh, tough.
He had a back wall shot.
That's tough.
He could have like moved back. You got in his way.
But this is tough, Dave. Look at the replay here. I'm not so sure you will agree with the
14
referee.
14 serving 8.
Nick went to step. Yeah, maybe that is an avoid. I mean, I don't know what he could have done.
Short. No. I called this short.
He went down, stood up, and went back down again.
Second serve.
He attempted to get out of the way and then got in his way.
Definitely not an avoidable.
Well, John Bike would say ball don't lie, and look at Nikolai Nahorniak pumping up the crowd here.
Yet for some reason when he said it, you stopped talking to him for 4 months.
8,
now
7,
you can't
14.
stop saying it.
I love it. I hated it once, but I love it now. Well, people change. Unlike you, who
I didn't
the same
the
guy
ball
that you've
slide.
been since you were 12. I change with
Nobody
the
saw a
times.
slide.
That's true.
I
You're
didn't
pretty
see it. It just
moldable.
looked normal.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Easygoing fella.
9 serving 14.
Some would say too easygoing.
Well, nice guy, I would say. Anyone that says easy is taking money or candy from a
Second
baby,
server.
I guess is the phrase, has never actually tried it. Not sure if it's money or candy.
Shouldn't it be giving candy to a baby?
I don't know. I thought it was taking.
No, but it should be giving.
It should be.
Well, Dave, while you've been over there just
14.
going with the flow like you do, Team LAAC, who's got multiple
Point.
nicknames, is 7 points
Point.
from forcing a tiebreaker, but trying to hold off a rally
10,
from
14. 10 serving 14.
Team Red.
Yeah.
Short.
No, they're doing it. Starting to score points here. But the thing about Nikolai Nahorniak that I think is kind of odd is the
second serve.
Is the strange moments of exhilaration for himself at odd times. You know, when he starts pumping himself up in the kind of most awkward of situations.
Well, Nikolai's really reined in
11,
his
serving
emotions quite a
14.
bit since he debuted on the webcast, I believe, in
Hold it.
2010. Where we saw all sorts of shenanigans.
Now you see Nick adjusting that leg brace, an injury that he got in Vegas. But then again, he gets injured in Vegas every year.
11-14. Yeah.
A lot of people used to say
11
that
serving 14.
Nikolai Nahorniak was immature when he was younger.
I know, you wouldn't have been one.
No.
No.
You're only one young once, Dave.
Yeah.
12 serving 14.
But you can stay immature indefinitely.
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
What's the call there? Slide?
I believe so.
You know, we're talking about these Southern California guys, Vince Munoz and
12 serving 14.
Carlos Chavez and even Marcos and Toddy Severa and those guys that all have played at the LAAC. And one of the big reasons why is Tony Hawante, their coach, who's been ill as of late and in the hospital. We're going to have a chance to talk to him soon. Look at that get right there from Tyree Bastidas. Vince Munoz comes in, pounds it. Nikolai is unable to get it. And then points at Vince and said that the ball hit him. And Nick agrees. And so does Vince. Let's go to Kara Mack, who's courtside with Tony Hawante right now. Kara.
That's right. I'm with Tony. Tony, I want your long list of players that you've helped coach.
How many? About 300 of them. Only the few of them came to the top, like Vince, Tati, and all of those guys. But I was up there, yeah.
You also coach Vince, as you were mentioning. He's in his 40s now. What is it like to watch him play?
Yeah. Well, Vince was one of them, but he's old. He's old. He's 43. Yeah, he's old.
Still around, though.
And Tati also is the same age. They all got old, but they still play. Tati played the last year. He won the doubles and against the Irish guys. But I'm just staying out of it because I got stroke about a year ago. And I hate to come into this, you know, I hate to everybody to see me walking like this. But I'm all right anyway.
Oh, good. You've been in the sport forever. How have you seen the transition change?
How?
How have you seen the sport transition?
Well, all right, you know, but it's been about 40 years. I started this guy when he was 11 years old, Vince.
What do you miss about it from 40 years ago versus now?
Ooh, he still moves the same way. He still shoots the ball real good, but naturally it's not as good because he lost a little bit of the reflexes and anticipation and all that. but he's all right. He gets as good as ever.
What are the shots that surprise you now in the sport?
What?
What are the different shots that surprise you now in the sport that you didn't do back in the day?
Well, the same way as he was. Same way, same shots. His left is just as good. He was messed up with his left for a while because he couldn't lift his arm. But now he's really good. You see him. I mean, he's really coming around.
What's the difference between coaching doubles and coaching singles?
Oh, because singles is a tough game. You know, singles is only you against the other guy. And when you miss a shot, you know you miss it. There's nobody else behind you. So it's a lot of difference. One time, Nat Tati was playing a game. He was losing 17-3. 17-3. I went in there, and he had a towel over his head when he came out, and I told him, change his serve. So he changed his serve to a C-serve on the top to come to the left slowly. Believe it or not, he won 21-20, 21-19.
Yeah, mentally strong and tough then too.
Yeah.
So what's your prediction tomorrow with Paul Brady and Luis Moreno?
Well, I don't predict nothing no more because I'm done. I'm done.
Come on, give us one. Give us one.
Yeah, he doesn't predict
put all
anymore.
The marbles on one. Who would you put them on?
Yeah, a lot of it. But I can't do nothing no more. I'm satisfied. Yesterday there was a guy that wanted to make a movie at my house. His name is Steve Blackburn.
Second server.
He made a script and he's certified and everything. And he's going to be halfway, whatever it is. But if he ever made the movie, I give my half to handball because handball has been my love always. And I love to see handball, you know, and I like to coach it more than anything. I play a lot of handball, but I never competed.
You're a delight. Thank you so much. Let's enjoy the game, okay? All right, Dave.
Look at this, get right there. Great camera angle, front camera shot here, Dave. These guys doing one of the best rallies of the whole tournament. Ball back to the roof. Nikolai taking it off the back wall, slides down that left. Vince goes down with a kill shot. Crowd rewards him with their hands.
I love that interview, Dave.
Tony Huante has coached some of the greatest players to ever play this game.
I'll tell you what, Dave, if there was a Tony Huante in every city, handball would be one of the most popular sports in the country.
Look at that ball makes
and
it back
that's
to the front
fact.
wall. No, you're right. But think of who Kara has put on the air so far today. Nadi Alvarado, Fred Lewis, Tony Huante. I mean, can you even follow up Tony Huante? I think Kara should just get on a plane and fly home. You did a good job. You're done.
It's funny, when I get sent on a plane home, it's not because I did a good job.
Well, but you are done.
Well, that part is similar, yeah.
Nikolai Nahorniak just powers that ball to the left.
12 serving 17.
Now this time we have Munoz and Chavez with that little comfortable lead. Will the youngsters be able to come back and take them? This is such a big match that the #1 player on tour is reffing, and the line judges are also on tour. I mean, you've got a whole gallery full of people here, Dave. I think that ball squeaked in, did it not? Half out, broken ball, what happened?
13 serving 17. Short. Second serve.
Oh, Nikolai doesn't move his feet there. Tony Huante always preached shooting the ball, Dave, from everywhere on the court with both hands. That's the style of all of his
17 serving 13.
All of his proteges and charges. And Dave, that's really the only weakness in Nikolai's game, is that he doesn't move quite as well
18-13.
as maybe some of the other top players. His ball striking, Dave, is certainly right at the top.
I think one of the reasons for not moving well is he does have a knee issue here.
Aren't you watching?
Spectator says to the referee, you know, who do you think's going to win this match? And the referee said, aren't you watching? As in condescending, like, isn't it obvious? Referee being Luis Moreno, our #1 player on tour the last couple seasons.
18-13.
For those that don't watch handball, just tuning in, it isn't normally common for a guy to win a semifinals match to go into the biggest tournament of the year to go up and ask to referee the next match. Dave, you are disgusted that I'm bringing this up, but...
Well, I wasn't disgusted the first 6 times you brought it up.
Well, there's new viewers this time. They weren't here the first 6 times. Oh, nice kill. And that's another thing that Tony Hawante said, that Vince Munoz just didn't have that left hand. He couldn't lift his arm for many years there.
19-13.
It's obvious that his left is back.
And Dave, just as we would expect in a men's semifinal doubles, it's going to a tiebreaker. I don't know that there's ever been a men's semifinals doubles here that didn't go to a tiebreaker.
Yeah. Vince Munoz, though, and Carlos Chavez had 20 points earlier and served to win. They didn't pull it out, though. And here in doubles, even though you have 13, and it's taken 45 minutes to score 13 points, we've seen guys score 8 additional points in 3 or 4 minutes.
Could you name an example of that? I mean,
yeah, earlier.
Like it's pretty
it
common.
Seems like earlier it happened.
Seems like, really?
Yeah.
It didn't, not in this tournament.
Is that official?
No. I'm just looking for one example. I mean, hypotheticals are great and everything.
Yeah,
but
well.
Yeah, I really like them.
Yeah.
20 possible game points, serving 13.
Good looking person. Teeth.
Hold it.
I know, Dave, you were talking about doing
20
Twitter
serves
contests and stuff like that.
13.
Yeah.
What was the contest? What was the subject? You said something, stump the broadcasters with any type of trivia. It doesn't matter what it is. I think that was the thing that you said. You come up with any subject and on Twitter, and the broadcasters will be able to answer it. You and I both study Wikipedia. I think that was it.
I think that might be your thing.
Nope, that was yours.
I think I posted a question.
Which was stump the broadcasters. Bring up any subject, they'll tell you 3 things about that subject. And what was the Twitter
couldn't
handle?
tell you 2 things about anything outside of golf, tennis, or handball.
Okay, well, make it about golf, tennis, or handball.
Okay, then go ahead and stump the broadcasters.
What is the Twitter handle?
At DFWPH.
Okay, so it's going to be your Twitter.
Well.
At DFWPH. Ask any
13,
question
20.
about golf,
Tennis.
13, 20.
Twitter, tennis, and handball.
I'll throw in boxing as a bonus.
Oh, wow. Anything. And I'll be the witness that
the
you
golf or the
will
boxing
not
has
use
to
the
be
internet.
post 2008
Okay, post 2008 in
for
what?
boxing.
Boxing, okay.
Everything else though is anytime.
And I'll be your witness that
13,
you will not
serving
look
20.
at the internet. This will be off your head. Okay. Winner gets what if they can stump you?
Short.
Their name mentioned on the broadcast?
Second serve.
This is ESPN.
Okay. That's shameless, but okay.
Play it over.
Vince Munoz hits that ball right into Tyree. 13-20 is the score.
13-20.
I'll guarantee that you won't look at the internet. I'd like to test Dave Fink's brain, and I guess is the name of this contest. I tell everybody that if there is a strange stat or little piece of trivia pertaining to the things that are in your hot box, Nobody can
serving
stump
20.
you. You've got the mind of Rain Man. In fact,
Wow.
that's your nickname on tour. At
Hold
DF
it.
WPH Twitter. Ask the question.
Damn it.
You'll see.
Is there a wet spot right there, Nick?
This is game number 2. First one went to Nikolai Nahorniak, Tyree Bastidas, 21-20.
You wanna
Here
try?
they find themselves trailing 13-20. This game started right at about 1 o'clock after about a 20-minute warm-up. So they've been on the court now for over 2 hours. We're getting close to 2 hours.
What's
Watching ESPN and the Watch ESPN app. Tyree
All right,
Bastidas
13 serving
Nikolai
20.
Nahorniak here at 13-20. Big setup. Tyree, ball, and Tyree and hand all meet at the same time.
Well, John Bike would say you've got to get that ball earlier, not take that chance of letting the ball squelch right up against that side wall.
13 serving
It's
20.
great advice if you're watching at home, and that does happen. You've got to accept that, you know, it's not going to be the setup you hoped it would be, and just play it so you can get the ball back.
20 serving 13.
Here it is.
Short.
This could be game number 2, forcing a
Second
tiebreaker
serve.
for Team Chavez. Team Old Guys, or Team LAAC.
We're working on some more nicknames for the tiebreaker. Team Wante.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, I'm just reporting.
I love it. Oh, look at that elite corner kill from Nikolai Nahorniak. Gets a half out. Now, once
20
again,
serving 13.
there's a Twitter contest, Stump Dave Fink. It's called Outthink Dave Fink. The subject is golf, handball,
Game.
or tennis.
5 minutes.
And there's the first game, second game going to Munoz or Chavez on Twitter at DFWPH. Ask any question. I'll guarantee he won't look it up on the internet. He'll just give you an answer. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. We want you to stick around. More handball action coming up next as we bring you into a tiebreaker. Hopefully we'll come back and have an interview with Kara Mack, but if we don't, that tiebreaker will take place with or without that interview. We'll be back in just a few minutes here at ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.
I'd like to thank my parents that drove me all the games, all the long away games.
We have some really far away games.
Obviously, my parents were the most important people in the world.
My mom, dad, and my older sister, Marissa.
My mom and dad for getting us involved in sports when we were kids. With 7 kids, it was never easy to get us all involved, but you did an awesome job.
The dinner table was always a fun place to be, and even if you lost on the court, you usually tried to win on the dinner table.
I'd like to thank my dad for getting me into handball and getting into sports.
I'd like to thank my father, my dad first and foremost.
I'd like to thank my peer group.
My friends who I play with daily. Ricky.
My best friend, Maria.
My freshman basketball coach. By making that freshman basketball team and the coach having seen something in me, it put me in the path to where I am now. I'm playing sports my whole life and being more of a lifestyle.
What really got me started into sports was my grandma and my grandpa, because my grandma coached my soccer team. My sisters, my husband,
My wife.
My in-laws, my brother Alan for being a great player and a great model for how to be on the court.
Considering my age, which is 79, I'd like to thank handball, my younger children, and everybody that's younger than me for keeping me in this game, because I think I'm healthy and mentally alert because of it.
So thank you.
Thank you for getting me into handball.
You might have been his biggest benefactor for supporting me and coming out here.
Creating such an amazing atmosphere.
Keeping me fired up and loving the game.
Being an inspiration.
Without them, I don't think I would play sports.
I know it wasn't simple.
Wasn't simple.
Wasn't simple. Wasn't simple.
But he sure was sport fit.
Get ready for your next barbecue with the Southland's most delicious smoked sausages. I'm Rachel Serrato from Far West Meats. My family has provided quality, delicious meats locally for over 90 years. At Far West Meats, we take pride in serving a mouth-watering variety of smoked sausages, including beef, chicken, and Louisiana hot or mild, and our new products like Red Hots and Chicken Chorizo. Please find Far West Meats products at your local supermarkets, including Albertsons, Smart & Final, Stater Brothers, Superior, Gardinas, Walmart, Food for Less, and Winco.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
Get a remarkable clean with non-toxic and biodegradable Simple Green All-Purpose Cleaner. Use straight from the bottle on heavy grime or dilute the concentrated formula to make up to 44 bottles of daily cleaner. Safe for all washable surfaces, Simple Green can be used indoors and out. From kitchens and bathrooms to living and play areas, countertops and floors to furniture and clothing. Keep your home and our world clean with Simple Green.
We're back to the U.S. Open of Handball. I am with the player who's going to be taking over this main stage court up next, Tracy Davis. You're going to be doing singles here again, Ashley Wiley. You're just sitting, not warming up yet?
No, I mean, they're going into a tiebreaker right now, so in a couple of minutes, I'm just sipping on some water, just trying to stay relaxed and focused. I don't have a very traditional way of getting ready for a match. I just like to stay, I don't know, free of stress. So relaxed, this is, just relaxed, yeah.
What brings you to this one?
Well, I know Tyree and Nikolai, they're friends of mine, so I'm just watching them play and trying to cheer them on. But also, I'm a fan of Vince Munoz, so it's just a nice match to see. The better player is going to win, the better team is going to win. So.
What have you learned from these two guys out here today?
Well, right now I'm actually watching everyone's back wall and just kind of taking some pointers on what I can maybe do when I hit a back wall shot. Staying calm, coming in closer to the wall, fouling it out. So I'm taking some mental notes as well. So it's not just sitting here chilling out. So.
Excited to be in the semifinals?
I am. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to playing Aisling. She's a tremendous player, and I'm just going to go in there and give her my all.
How did you get into handball?
Wow, it was just something I did in my neighborhood. I played a ton of sports as a kid, and so I just started off, and about 16 years ago, I started playing in tournaments, and the rest is history.
What do you love about it versus those other sports that you've played?
I like that it's more just about the individual. I'm more of an individual person, but then you also get to socialize and meet people, so you get the best of both worlds, being your individual self, and then you can also commingle with people who are also individuals, and everyone's kind of just coexisting in this cool little universe. So
you said you started playing when you were 6 or 7 years old. Do you think that it's helped you be more quick on your feet since picking it up?
Absolutely. I would say, I am so clumsy, but there's so many times I've saved myself from like breaking my foot or something, falling off of a curb, just because I know how to like keep my balance and that coordination that handball develops. You have no choice but to be coordinated. So
I want to see those hands. Everyone always says those hands of a handball player cannot be pretty. No, they look great. I'm not going to show you mine, and I don't play handball. All right, who do you think is going to take this in the tiebreaker?
I don't know. If Nikolai and Tyree can just stay aggressive and shoot and not miss those shots, then they're really going to give Vince and Carlos a challenge, which they did in the first game. So they can do that. But, Vince is on fire. He's shooting from everywhere. He's making those shots. So those two guys in the back and the red shirt have to, keep the pressure.
And what's your game plan to beat Aisling next?
Pretty much the same thing. Keep the pressure.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I'm certainly going to try to.
All right, well, we're going to be starting the tiebreaker here, so we're going to pass it back to you guys, Dave.
Thank you.
It's very hard, Dave, to get a player to pick one player or another when you ask them for a prediction.
Okay for now. That's a good point.
But, there's this myth that handball players have these beat-up hands, but I've never seen that.
It can't happen, actually.
Yeah.
Your hands are beat up in a different way.
People always ask me, let me see those calluses.
Well,
Cooks
will go to a culinary school to find out how to tenderize meat, and that's what you're doing in handball. So when someone touches your hand, they go, wow, you have real soft hands. How did that happen? Well, I have a natural tenderizer I do 3 times a week. 2 hours a day. It's called handball. They think you should have calluses.
Yeah.
I'm not taking a shovel digging graves for a living.
Right.
I'm actually just hitting a ball that's tenderizing this meat. Yeah. You should feel how soft it is.
In fact, you'd have some rough hands if you were a golfer getting those calluses and blisters, but it's not going to happen in handball.
That was a great interview right there.
Well, there's no bad interviews since Kara arrived on the scene.
Serving 0. Well, and she's somebody we found in downtown Newport Beach. And it wasn't something we're looking for either, and we found it.
Slide out.
Amazing how you found the same person 4 years ago.
Well,
was it on the same beach then?
Where to look? 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So I think it was more than that. 8 years ago, she was wearing one of those red bathing suits down in the Baywatch
0-2
lifeguard station. Now she's on the street. It was an odd encounter.
We do have a tweet here for the contest, Dave. U.S. Open 24th year. Who won first U.S. Open and who won U.S. Open of golf and tennis in 1990?
Oh, my gosh.
Now, I don't know what that means, U.S. Open 24th year. The handball U.S. Open started in 2006. Paul Brady won that over Nadia Alvarado. But then I guess we're asking about the U.S. Open of golf and tennis in 1990 as well.
Okay, so you can't look on the internet.
Right.
Now let's try to analyze this. By the way,
Curtis Strange, 1990, won the U.S. Open in golf. He also won in 89.
Okay, so you're giving more than what they asked.
Well, I just answered the golf part. Now, tennis, I'm just going to go through my progressions.
Okay, we're in a tiebreaker just for those at home. Going to 11. I am the witness, and I swear as I have ever sworn, and I do a lot of swearing.
Yeah.
Dave is not on the internet. Well, he got the tweet off his cell phone, but his cell phone's down. You can see this in the booth if you want to.
Serving 2.
Cell phone is turned off. Computer lids are flipped. I'll flip mine down just to make sure. Now, Dave, you're pretty amazing with what we call think Fink or outthink Fink here on this contest.
4 serving 2.
The contest was, can you say anything about golf, boxing, tennis, or handball from years past, and can you, Dave Fink, be stumped by somebody? Now, you said Curtis Strange won the U.S. Open of golf.
Yeah.
but did he? Who won the U.S. Open of tennis? Now, you know who won the very inaugural year of U.S. Open. You said that already as Paul Brady over Nadia Alvarado. Yeah. Curtis Strange winning 1990's golf U.S. Open, but who won tennis in 1990?
I'm going through my progressions right now.
So it's going to have to be somebody like Yvonne Lindell.
Yeah, well, Lindell was in 8 straight finals, but I don't know if that he was in 8 straight finals in the 80s.
Did Michael Chang ever win a U.S. Open?
He only won 1 major. That was the French Open when he was 17.
Did he make it to the finals of the U.S. Open? Think of who. I'm just thinking, I remember 1990. I remember him being one of those guys.
He was a guy, but, you know, you've got Edberg, Lendl.
Borg, that was too late for him, right?
Yeah,
Borg.
Borg
How
was
about
done
Becker?
in 80.
How about Becker?
Could have been Becker. I think that was the year that Becker survived match point against Rostano in the 3rd round on a net court, came back from 2 sets to none, and he won that year, and that very well could have been 1990.
Well, you're going to have to figure this out on your own because no internet is going to help you.
It's tough.
You remember which female won that year? Because I know how everything is in your brain and it stays there forever. Nikolai Nahorniak, Tyree Bastidas, 5-2 lead here in the breaker.
I don't even know where you turn it on from. Score is 6, serving 2.
Score is 6-2. I know you're thinking. That's why you hear the silence. Dave can't talk and think at the same time, but he's good at everything else.
Second server.
Funny answer, actually.
6, serving 2.
I did look it up on the internet, so now I do know, and I think it's one of the most ironic, funny things that you'll ever know. Gabrielle Sabatini won the women's. And if you can, and I'm sure that would probably be a hint for you because you pair people together. Here's a 6-2 lead now for Nahorniak and Bastidas up against Vince Munoz and Carlos Chavez.
Amazing how quickly things can change in a tiebreaker. Vince and Carlos really dominated game number 2, even though it took nearly an hour to win that game. But Dave, I agree with what Tracy said in that interview. If Nikolai and Tyree are able to play aggressively and avoid making those mistakes, they've got the advantage.
And there's the 7th point now for Team Bastidas. And Dave, this is becoming a very tough match here. That was probably the best rally we've seen of the whole tournament. It was closed out by a fall down backward shot from Vince Munoz. You know, you have to at some point come up with an answer.
I'm going to go with Pete Sampras.
That's why I thought it was ironic that you would not have that answer because that's your idol.
Right.
Why would it take you that long to come up with that answer?
Because for some reason I had it in my head that Sampras won his first in 91, and I don't know why I have that in my head that way, but now that I'm thinking about the 91 Open, I know Sampras didn't win that one, so I'm going to go with Sampras.
So you took Sampras on one. Who'd you pick for golf again?
Curtis Strange.
Curtis Strange, and then Paul Brady for the inaugural year. Now, I think that the tweet question was the inaugural year of the Simple Green U.S. Open, which really they meant to say the Nadia Alvarado Classic from 20-some-odd years back. I mean, you'd have to be guessing that it's Nadi Sr. on that. He would have played in his own Open, wouldn't he?
Nadi, I believe, played in his last Nationals in
90, 91,
3, serving 7,
89.
It was 91.
How many years ago was that?
23.
So he would have probably played in his own Nadia Alvarado Classic, right? So he probably would have won that first one.
I'm going to go with Toddy on that one while we're guessing.
Okay, so
I don't know that that was the question. Though.
Okay, so
I didn't interpret that as being the question.
I interpreted it as well as you did, is that the first inaugural year was Paul Brady over Nadia Alvarado. You said that Curtis Strange won the U.S. Open of golf in 1990.
Yeah.
But see, that's where that's where I believe they're right, because they're saying 1990, so that would be the 1990 Nadi Alvarado Classic. So that would have been, you're saying Nadi Alvarado Sr. is a guess, so that's kind of the underdog here.
You said he was your guess, Nadi Sr.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I said Toddy.
Okay, so you're going with Toddy.
Not confident, though, about that.
Toddy would have been about 20 years old or less, 17 or 18.
Yeah.
Okay. Bouquet? I would go with John Bike on that.
I'm leaning towards Bike, too, but I've already made my guess, so.
Okay,
but that's not something that's ever been in my vault, so I can't say.
Yeah, I mean,
I
they've never released the results of
Yeah.
those tournaments, but it's just a guess on handball, which is ironic in its own way. Now you see Southern California making a couple points here. So the Outthink Think contest on Twitter, I'm going to allow you to release the lid on your. I believe you're correct on Sampras.
Okay.
I know you're correct on Curtis Strange, but it really comes down to that 1990. And who was the one that tweeted this?
Adam Bogle, who I actually thought for years was you under a fake username, and now I actually still do.
That's funny.
Actually,
Adam and I are good friends.
I
He's the
bet.
first person I ever played handball against.
You've told me that about at least 15 people.
What?
You've told me at least 15 people were the first person you've ever played with.
He's the real first one.
Really?
I was probably 9 or 10 years old at the time.
Huh. I've heard you started every age between 9 and 20 also.
It was just a one-time meeting somewhere in Klamath Falls, Oregon. Adam Bogle. It's funny. It's a small sport. Agent with a kilt. We're in the middle of the tiebreaker going to 11. Is that your son, Dave?
No, he actually looks like him.
I thought it was.
Believe it or not, they're actually 1 day apart. They were born 1 day apart.
I was saying, what is this guy doing? All chumming up to your son like that? I thought it was.
This little guy actually walked through the door, and I knew my wife was on her way, and I looked and I said, "Oh, I didn't know Henry had that green shirt."
So it even fooled you.
Yeah.
4 serving 7.
Vince now serving here at 4-7. Now,
I'm getting a lot of inboxes, Dave. Fans asking me
what size of shirt I am. Extra large.
Why they're not serving to Vince.
Why would you?
Well, I'm just reporting what I'm reading.
Seven serving 4.
Boy, Tyree, doesn't matter what time of the tournament it is, he can still hit that ball 100 miles an hour.
Play it over. Check the ball.
I'd like to hear the result on Twitter from Agent with a Kilt, Adam Bogle, living in Ashland, Oregon. His dad's name, Lee Bogle, who had a handball court in his backyard right on Washburn Way in Klamath Falls, Oregon. We're talking 80s.
Dave, is it sometimes more effective in doubles just to hit the ball as hard as you can rather than going for kills?
Well, yeah, because you just hit it into a group of people and hope that it's hard to make an offense. Unless you're Sean Lenning, you can't do anything with those balls that are jammed at you. Or Dave Chapman.
Seven serving 4.
Well, there's your inbox must be happy. They just served to Vince. And look at Nick and Tyree are celebrating there with a Sapo shot from way deep, 8-4 here.
Last year, Dave, it was Tyree and Nikolai
4.
leading 8-3 in the tiebreaker in the semifinals and lost that match to the Irish. And that was a bitter pill to swallow last year, Dave, because they had a very good chance to win the tournament. 3 points with a big lead in the tiebreaker, and they couldn't close it out. And I believe that's the reason they play doubles again together this year. They've got some unfinished business here.
Yeah, I agree.
And look at Tyree running over there right in front of Nikolai and hitting with his left and ends the rally. If you're going to jump in front of your partner, Dave, after you've run 10 feet to get there, you better finish the rally right there.
And there's a timeout call. First timeout I could recall in the last, what feels like 2 hours.
9-4.
Haven't seen a timeout called in so long that
9-4.
I forgot that they even had them in handball. Vince Munoz here getting some camera time. Dave, has agent with a kilt, Adam Bogle, given you the response to that 19? If he asked a question that he didn't know an answer to, it's not going to fare well.
He's saying 24th Nadia Alvarado Classic.
Well, the 24th would be now.
Right, so
he wants your prediction from today, from this weekend.
So he's asking for prediction. That's a little different.
Well, I don't know how to understand the question here. I bet you Sampras is right, but
it was Hale Irwin, and I should have known that because he did his victory lap after making a 45-foot putt.
Okay, so you were wrong on Hale Irwin.
It was Curtis Strange winning in 88 and 89, I believe.
Okay.
Not 89-90.
And then what about, I don't understand the handball question, but what about your tennis? That's Sampras, right? Gabrielle Sabatini won the women's that year. I remember that. I follow women's sports.
Yeah.
I know you.
I do as well.
Okay. I gave you that hint just hoping that would trigger Pete Sampras, who's your idol.
Yeah.
Your email address is
Sampras014
at Hotmail. And you did that because I think you're hedging him out of, or making sure that he wouldn't actually take that email address. It's a highly sought after email address.
Yeah.
I think you can sell it for about $100 grand.
Well, I actually had Sampras 012 when he'd won 12 Grand Slams, but then when he'd won 14, I had to change it.
Change it over.
Yeah.
Smart. Well, I have Vincent 000 at Hotmail, in case you want to get a hold of me. That one will never be changed. And look at that serve right there from Tyree. That's a perfect double serve.
Bounce off the door.
Wow.
I'm going to play it over.
Wow.
That was the perfect double serve right there.
Yeah, that was shocking.
9-4.
9 serves 4. Can team 40-year-olds do
That's
anything
a broken
with the youngsters?
ball. I think that ball's broken, Dave.
Well,
second server.
I thought it broke too, but
9 serves 4.
Dave, what's the over and under and when that ball is going to break?
Well, it's not broken now, so I'd say probably make it through the rest of this match with this ball.
I don't think it will. I like to put money on it. What about $5,000?
Let's make it 10.
I hope that was caught on film. Oh, guess what? Oh, yeah.
No, that was it. They wiped the ball.
Prove
there.
it. Prove it. Prove it.
It's the same ball.
Well, we have to watch on video replay. I'm just so hoping that this ball breaks.
Odds are not in your favor here at this point.
Well, especially if Nick and Tyree just scored their 10th point.
Yeah, I don't take checks either. So
really?
No. Cashiers, but no personal checks. All hundreds will be fine.
Oh. 10 possible game and match points, serving 4.
Best bet I ever made in my life. There it is.
That was an incredible get.
It really was.
He looked like Superman there flying across the court.
front camera angle would have really caught that. There it is again. And it did catch it. He didn't get it, though.
Nikolai celebrated as though the match was over.
Team Southern California, though, is, I mean, that round of applause from the crowd is either coming from these fans wanting this match to end or because it was highly executed. Look at this replay. It's hard
that
to
was
dive.
Earlier in the rally.
That's the one that you said that he dove like Superman. It's hard to dive with your offhand out there.
Yeah, that's true.
It really is. I would rather use my backhand with my strong hand than use my offhand.
But Tyree did get that.
He did, but the ball didn't make the front wall.
Oh, okay. I thought he called a double bounce.
And it was a side out. Ball just skipped before the front wall. Crowd cheered because
4 serving 10.
Team Chavez can score 7 straight to win. They scored 5 earlier. Oh, no.
Late call, but the right call.
The youngster.
What I don't like about that, though, is if that would have killed, there would have been no call. And I think you know that.
I don't know it. Oh. I wish I did, though. Tyree steps in front of his doubles partner there, takes away a shot.
I'm most worried about the more points we play, the greater chance of this ball breaking.
So, I'm trying to get off the subject so you forget about it.
Yeah.
Because you and I both know it's not going to. Uh-oh, nice get again from Tyree.
Oh, and Nikolai showing off a Tyree scoop kill there, Dave.
How does Tyree keep doing that? That's unreal.
No, that was Nikolai with the scoop kill.
No, the dives.
Right.
I mean, he's giving everything he can just to get his hand on the ball.
Dave, I know we've talked about guys being $10 million athletes and whatnot, and they are, but Tyree's the kind of guy, Dave, I feel like he could play anything. I feel like he could be a major league center fielder or shortstop, point guard. I was great.